My cousin, a teen female, has been staying with my mom and stepdad because one of her parents had a medical emergency and will need rest and care for about a month. My cousin will be here while that goes on. I don't visit my mom or stepdad much anymore because, in my opinion, they're huge idiots who don't deserve kids. Since my cousin has been there, I've been visiting more to keep an eye on her. She's staying in what used to be my old room and now the spare bedroom. The thing about this room is, if the window is open, the door will slam even when you close it gently. This must have happened to my cousin, and my stepdad took the door off for slamming it. This had happened to me before when I was a kid. I was lucky enough to have a father threaten to beat his butt if I didn't have a door to change behind, especially with the room being right across from the parents. Also, I'm nearly 99% certain my mom and stepdad know about the wind. They're just idiots. So since that happened with my cousin, I came over one day and started taking pics of the door. Pics that showed that the parents can see right into it from their room. They obviously ask what the heck I'm doing, and I tell them I said I'm taking pics for the police and CPS. They ask why, and I said because stepdad is acting like a creep, making a little girl stay in a room with no door where she must change, and you idiots have the perfect view into her room. It's a week later on and the door is on. My cousin has been texting me that they treat her much better now, and my stepdad won't even talk to her. She's grateful for that. It might have been a bit extreme, but I didn't know what would get these people to stop other than the threat of the government and people thinking bad about them. Am I the idiot threatening my stepdad so he would give my cousin's door back? Edit, she's not allowed to change in the bathroom. No one has been allowed to since I was a child. They said it's to prevent dirty clothes from being left there, and since the only toilet is in there, they don't like it for that reason as well. Your stepdad absolutely sounds like a piece of crap, and unfortunately your mom is not much better. What kind of person takes the door away from someone, especially a young teen girl, if you don't have ulterior motives? Not the idiot, and I wish I had the cash to send you a muffin basket. My room at my parents' place had the same open window and door slam problem. My dad's solution was to have a door stopper, not remove the whole damn door. Privacy is more important than the occasional accidental slam. I'm glad you've made it known that you're willing to ensure that cousin is treated with more consideration than those two family members were willing to show her. Poor kid, good thing you're around to help protect her. Sucks all the adults in your lives are garbage people. Everyone's the idiot. Growing up with poor relatives, we changed in the bathroom for privacy. I'm not saying I know your folks and their intentions, but in the South it's not uncommon for parents to take the door down as a punishment. I've done it to both my sons and both my daughters when they were being sneaky with electronics, violating curfews for phones, gaming, etc., bad grades or behaviour. It wasn't common but was done with good intent. My brother is 29 and has been with Leah for about 2 years. We all like her, she's super nice. I'm getting married next April and sent an invite to my brother's apartment. We decided to send invites to households rather than individuals. For example, our aunt received an invite for her family rather than for each individual. Last Thursday we met at my parents' place. It was just the core family because of some tax reasons, LOL. While there, I asked my brother about Leah's dietary restrictions. I know that she's a vegetarian for health reasons and that she can't have certain raw vegetables. He said she wouldn't come and he was taking his girl best friend Amanda instead. Now their relationship is weird as heck. Amanda has always been stringing my brother along, in my opinion. He always denies having feelings for her, but let's be real here. Amanda would date other guys and blow off my brother, and then when things were declining with her partners, she'd be attached to him again. Her last boyfriend broke up with her right around the time my brother, his then ex-girlfriend, Amanda, and her ex were supposed to travel to Spain. What did my idiot brother do? Go with Amanda alone because Amanda was uncomfortable with his ex-girlfriend. Obviously, he acted blindsided when his girlfriend broke up with him. I didn't even say anything anymore because it's all so weird. So when he said that, I asked if Leah had other plans, but my brother said that Amanda had asked if she could come because it would be an opportunity to finally see the old gang. We were in the same friend group in high school. I told him I would have invited Amanda if I wanted her there. Amanda is mean and cold. She always makes disparaging comments about other girls. At every event, around 1 hour in, she will make some sort of scene that either has her running away crying or sitting mad at a table, telling everyone to leave her alone, and then making a cryptic comment about something hurting her. I told my brother I was revoking his +1 and Amanda was not coming to our wedding. He accused me of being misogynistic and bigoted because I don't understand opposite gender friendships, which is BS. My husband has a female childhood friend who is his best woman. I love her too, and she's been amazing. And she respects damn boundaries. She always included me and made a huge effort when I started dating my fiancé to integrate me into the friend group. Anyway, I said my decision was final. He could take it or leave it, but I would be inviting Leah myself because I like her. He screamed at me and told me to keep out of his business. I said to get rid of his weird damn feelings for Amanda. He's mad at me. My dad said it was none of our deal. My mom is furious with my brother. So, am I the idiot? Your brother is a real idiot. He'll be single again very soon unless he learns to consider and appreciate his partners. But based on his reaction to Princess Amanda not being invited, I don't see that happening. But quite apart from that, you can disinvite unpleasant people from your wedding. Brother can pound sand. Not the idiot. But just to be safe, tell Leah she is invited even if she's not with your brother anymore at the time of the wedding because, let's be real here, she can do a lot better, and it's just a matter of time before she realizes that and dumps him. Let Leah have a +1 so she can enjoy herself. That would make her feel truly welcome. Your brother is a major idiot, and I don't blame you at all for not wanting his side piece at your wedding. I also wouldn't blame you if you didn't want him at your wedding. I, female 26 and my boyfriend male 25, switched to remote jobs at the same company 3 years ago. Around that time, he proposed we use our newfound freedom to travel the world since we had no local responsibilities. He was incredibly passionate about it and planned everything, so I followed his lead. For 6 months, we had amazing experiences. For context, even though he was a year younger, he had lived independently for 6 years while I was still with my family. This trip was my first time so far from home, and I had experiences I never would have had without his initiative. However, the joy didn't last long because we returned home about €1,600 in debt each. He'd assured me our salaries would roughly cover the trip. Still, we ended up short every month, and his spontaneous booking of our return flight added several €100 to the cost. It took months to repay the debt, and since then my trust in his travel planning has been shattered. I was shocked when he said, "In a few years we won't think about the money anymore, but the experiences will stay with us forever." He has a different background, having looked after himself since he was 16 and experienced bigger financial lows and highs. For me, it was my first job, and being in debt for the first time really affected me mentally and scared me a lot. Since then, I've rejected all his suggestions for longer trips or traveling outside Europe. Today, he approached me again, explaining he now understands how much debt affects me and has a new 1-month trip outside Europe in mind. He claimed he would ensure this trip stayed within our budget and emphasized that he wanted me to focus on our fond memories rather than the debt. He listened to my concerns and even reviewed our past finances to find ways to save money this time. He admitted his mistake with the spontaneous return flight booking and promised to book both flights together this time. Despite his efforts, I didn't want to approve the trip because I was still disappointed by his previous recklessness. He also seemed to expect gratitude for planning everything during the first trip, which he never received because I was too angry about the aftermath. He appeared very disappointed by my rejection and lack of thanks. He reminded me we were both young and that he'd learned a lot about travel planning and my needs, acknowledging how important financial stability is to me compared to him. His attitude made me angry, and I told him, I wasn't just young, I was also stupid to blindly trust you. This hurt him deeply and he was speechless for a while. I believe my concerns are valid, as his prioritization of adventure over stable finances still worries me. However, his reaction makes me question if I might be the idiot here. At the age of 22, he took care of all the planning and budgeting of your international travels for 6 months. At the end of all that, you only exceeded your budget by €1,600 each, a lot of it being due to the last-minute flights back home. That lad did miracles. Generally, neither is wrong for having different preferences and priorities in life, but you are the idiot for lashing out at him. My question would be, what did OP do to help or improve the situation, and how long will this go? All I read is OP wants to stay mad at him. Honey, you seem to put all the blame on him for the debt. You were 23, a full adult with a job. Take some responsibility. If you want your relationship to last, you need to share the blame for all the decisions you made together and stop making hurtful comments during discussions. What's going to happen when you mess up? Can he hold it against you forever too? Sorry, OP, but you can't be serious. Your boyfriend took you on a 6-month trip around the world which resulted in a very, very small amount of debt 3 years ago. To be honest, I'm surprised he's still bothering to try to include you, let alone entertaining your anger about less than $2,000 in deficit after a 6-month overseas trip that you attended. OP, you are wild and a major buzzkill. You are an idiot and I wouldn't take you to the grocery store, much less on vacation. My husband, 33, and I, 33 female, have been married for almost 10 years. We have 2 children, ages 6 and 3. Before having kids, we would celebrate Mother's and Father's Days separately with our parents. Since having kids, it's generally been that we celebrate each other in the morning, then have lunch with his parents and dinner with mine. The issue with this is that I'm always the one making plans, figuring out where and what to eat, what time works, presents, flowers, etc. My husband doesn't organise anything with his parents on his own. It's also exhausting trying to organise the kids for not 1 but 2 outings in one day. On top of that, when we're at his parents' house, I cook, clean, serve, and put things away. It's tiring and I'm so over it. Back in April, I told my husband all this and said that this year I would rather have our parents come to our house for dinner. That way everyone can see each other, we don't have to fuss with getting the kids out the door, and we get more time in the morning to enjoy the day to ourselves. I suggested that on Mother's Day, the men can cook and clean, and on Father's Day, the women will do the same. My husband said that sounded like a great idea and apologised for how tiring these holidays have been until now. He asked if there was anything specific that I wanted to eat, and that was the last I heard about it from him. On Mother's Day, he asked me when everyone was supposed to be arriving. I told him I told my parents to come at 5:30. He said, "Okay, what time did you tell my parents to come?" I told him I didn't invite his parents. He asked why not, and I said because they're his parents. He didn't invite my parents, so why would I have invited him? He said it was implied that I would do it because that's how it's been every year, to which I said that he should have been doing it himself all those years. He got upset and went back to cooking. After my parents arrived, he excused himself to get changed and asked to talk to me. He told me he was really upset about me excluding his parents, and I told him he was at fault for them not being here. I said he could call them now and invite them over, so he did. After dinner, my mother-in-law pulled me aside and asked if she or my father had done something to upset me. I said, of course not, why would she think that? She said because they were invited so late, she assumed I didn't want them there. I apologised for making her feel like that and explained what happened, and she seemed very relieved. I don't think I'm wrong here, but my husband still maintains that I should have invited his parents or told him to do it. The only reason I can see that would make me the idiot is that mother-in-law must have felt so awful for most of the day because nobody reached out to her. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Your mother-in-law knows the score, which is the most important part of the equation. She likely feels a little hurt, but understands why and how the situation occurred. Kudos to her for handling it with you in a forthright way, too. Likely your husband won't let it slip again. You had an entire conversation about how exhausting it is to plan everything for both sets of parents. He acknowledged it and agreed to a change for the future. Yet he still expects you to continue the mental load of having to invite his parents. It's the countless small tasks that women are complaining about the mental load of motherhood. He's trying to cover his own incompetence by blaming OP. I don't interfere in my husband's relationship with his family. If he doesn't invite them for things or remember birthdays or send gifts, etc., I take it as given that that's how their relationship is. Nothing to do with me. OP, you are parenting 2 kids. Your husband needs to parent himself. My nearly adult male mom has 2 older kids, 24 male and 23 male. We don't have the same father. Growing up, they always made it known they didn't like me and that I wasn't their brother. I was always hurt by it, but after a while I just stopped caring. They were never nice to me, and as they got older, they kind of stopped visiting my mom, and when they would visit, they'd ignore me. Once my mom gave birth to my little brother, toddler, they started visiting more, and their relationship with my mom and stepdad improved. Seeing them interact and play with my brother always made me upset because they are always gentle and caring when it comes to him, but were always so hateful towards me. It's not that I want my brother to be mistreated, it's just that I wish they were like that with me as well. I have nothing but hate for them, and my mom knows this. The thing is, my mom wants to go on a family vacation in July. July is when she has her birthday, and she wants to spend it with her family. I didn't realise this meant her older kids would come as well this time. We went on 2 vacations before my brother was born, but her older kids never came. This would be the first trip we would have with my brother, and since she's close with her kids now, she thinks it's good for them to come. I don't agree. I mean, I don't care if they come, but I don't want to go if they're going. My mom's husband backed me up at first because they weren't nice to him either, but when my mom became upset, he kind of changed his mind and started backing her up, asking me to reconsider. I once again told them no. My mom told me that she wanted all of her kids to come along, but I told her that I wasn't going on a trip with people who literally made me miserable growing up. She told me that she could ask them to apologize for how they treated me, but in my eyes, no apology would ever be good enough, especially if it was forced. My mom knows how they treated me growing up, and knowing that she still wants me to go with them upsets me. Mom has been crying, and my stepdad has been asking me to reconsider for my mom's sake. He told me that he doesn't want them to come either, but he's doing it so my mom can be happy. I want my mom to be happy, but I don't see why I have to go. Am I an idiot for not wanting to go on a family vacation? She told me that she can ask them to apologize for how they treated me. Now she wants to ask them to apologize? Not the idiot. Why didn't she intervene when you were growing up? They abused you 11 years before she even realized and still did nothing? She's a terrible, terrible mother, OP. It doesn't matter how much you think you love her. She's been a really bad mother to you. She can keep her guilt tripping and crocodile tears. You should do the same she did when her children abused you. Nothing. Tell her to get over it and be sorry if she thinks her feelings are hurt. Also, she should be ashamed of herself for having so many children and still being a terrible mother.